Hi y'all, my name is Kathyjodiys. Thanks for clicking on my video. If you're new here, hey, hello. It's not always this messy, but fall. And if you're one of my regulars, you know I love you guys. But you know, if you like what you see today, you know, if you'd click that subscribe button, it would mean so much to me because I have a birthday coming up, and that would be the best birthday present ever, and it's free. And you don't have to sign up for anything. If you have an email, you can, yeah, that's it. And give me a big thumbs up. I know some of y'all don't like me, and you're going to give me a thumbs down, and that's okay because I'm not for everybody. But I am for most people. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to laugh. I like to have fun. I love Jesus. And I love y'all. So, I think you will love everything in this video today. I know it's long, and I apologize, but it is well worth it. I've not seen some of these done on YouTube. So, I got one thing left to say. Let's get on with the video. Okay, y'all. Right here, I got one of those, I don't know what they are. It's a poo noodle thing and a regular poo noodle. I can't say that very well together. And I seen my nephews do this real easy because they did that and they beat each other with them. But I really struggled getting that in there. And maybe it helps if they're wet. But I pull it through there, and I pull it through about 1.5 inches. And then on the other side, I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. And then I'm just going to take my big old saw knife, I don't know what that is, and jab that through there. And then I'm going to turn it sideways and jab it through again to make an opening on both sides. And then I got this wire, and I'm going to cut it down to 22 inches. But I don't think, I mean, wire that thick is not necessary, but I don't know. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think you do need wire. Seriously. Or a skewer or something. But anyway, and then I measured and made sure it was, I think 8.5, no, 7 3/4. I wasn't even close on each side. And then I'm going to mark it there so that way I'll know not to get it inside of there and it's uneven. You know what I mean? Anyway. And then I'm going to cut these down. I put the number on there. I don't remember what it was. I would guess and say 8 inches, but I'd probably be wrong. No, I think it was because, yeah, 8 inches, I believe. Anyway. Okay. And then I'm going to mark on that poo noodle part, that middle part. I don't know what that is, y'all. And, yeah, around the arms, and you know it's arms. And I'm just going to take my knife and cut it out. And, this is really easy, you guys. I'm telling you, you could do it. The hardest part probably was the clothes, but if y'all buy some baby clothes, y'all got it. You know what I mean? I had to make mine. I didn't have any. So, I'm just going to stick that arm up in that body. And I made a mistake here. I should have put my arms up higher. I don't know why I put them so low. And now it looks like kind of funny. And that's my biggest regret, but if I'd put them up closer to the top, it would have been much better. And then I just went around that, make sure I have enough fabric, because that's the fabric I want to use for the shirt. And I'm going to take this polyfill and put it on them cracks and all over, because I don't want those jiggy-jaggies like coming through whenever you could use plastic bag here, you guys, or fabric or anything like that. A mop from the Dollar Tree. But then I realized that is entirely too long. So I cut it down to probably about 1/2 inch. Yeah. And then it doesn't matter in the end. So you could cut it flush, actually. You don't have to leave it up at all. Yeah. Because I totally changed the route I was going. And I was making something else. But one of y'all sent me a picture of one of y'all DIYs. And I was like, oh, no. People's going to think I'm copying her. So I didn't. So I went this route. Anyway, I know. And then I'm going to iron out my fabric because it's a bit wrinkly. Now, I did get that fabric on Amazon. A lot of fabric you can find on at the Dollar Tree. But I haven't been able to find much lately. So anyway, and I've had that since last year, I think. But I cut these arms, but I cut them a little bit big because I wanted them baggy. I didn't want them like skin tight on him. And something else. I went another route here because I was going to make him dapper. But I ended up doing, you'll see. Anyway, and I cut 2 pieces of it out the same size. And I'm going to take Beacon Fabric Tack Glue and just glue them together. Just tack it together there. and then set them aside and let them dry. And then I'm going to take that. Now, look, it was tight. So, figure that in, y'all. According to how much polyfill you put on, I was like, dude, it was loose before, but now he's snug. He's chunky. He's like me. I ate cashews for 2 weeks and I've gained 6 pounds. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to make a little hem there, and I'm going to take my hot glue, and I'm going to tack that fabric down. And then, yeah, pull it up over there. And I do pull it really tight, obviously, because I don't have much to work with, you know. But it still looks fine. It's cute. And then, okay. Oh, I'm going to poke and cut an X in where his arms are going to be, because I got to be able to get in there. And then I cut an X the opposite way. I just started cutting slits, you know what I mean? I know, right? Cut an X the opposite way. What kind of sense does that make? And then I'm going to flip his arms inside out, his sleeves. Y'all, I know it's going fast, but that's the only way I could get everything in there and make sure that everything was in. Otherwise, the video would have been 2 days long. But I'm going to take a tomato steak that I got from the Dollar General. They're only $1, but I got a bunch of them for 25 cents last year at the end of the season. And I'm going to shove it up in there and mark where it's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches at the top to what I need sticking out. And then I go into the arm and I make a circle. And I take a small drill bit and I drill where I marked on that board. And so the board wood wouldn't split because it's really cheap pine. And then I take a larger one and mark it again the size of my wire. And I stick it back up in there and I stick my wire completely through. It goes through that hole and out that other side. And then I'm going to take hot glue and start hot gluing his shirt inside of there. I should have thought of a better way to do this, but I just was like, I just don't know. Nope, I had no clue. But yeah. And so after I'm done with that, I'm going to make slits there, top that sleeve. Just a little bit. I didn't, measure anything. I don't measure much of anything anyway because I'm terrible with numbers. But I'm just going to start hot gluing those little slits down. Excuse me. And when I get to that part that is too big, yeah, I'm just going to, tuck it right there, put hot glue. Y'all saw. Sorry. Anyway. And then I take a big giant bead. Now, I was going to make his arms go up and down and spin around in circles if they wanted. And I'm like, that's just too difficult. But I still put those beads in there. And it did help. You don't have to have that big a bead. It could be any size. But it did help, make contact. You'll see here in a minute. And give it something more to hold on to. And I should use wood glue, but I didn't. And then I put 2 more. Or I put 2 total. One and then another one. And because I'm going to put one down in that arm, and I put half beacon fabric tack and half hot glue, and I stuck that bead down in there. Make sure you get it straight, and I'm going to take hot glue and beacon fabric tack glue. I put the hot glue on the bead alone and the beacon on the sleeve to, glue it to the shirt. And then I'm just doing the same thing to the other side. I don't know why I showed y'all. I just do that for some reason. And then I'm going to take this khaki fabric. I got this for free at a yard sale. They're like, just take anything you want. And I was like, all right then. I didn't have enough room in my house or I would have brought home a lot more. But I'm going to hot glue those two more pieces of poo noodle that I cut at 9 inches. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't have that in there. And I'm just going to take an orange rubber band, and it doesn't matter now. I thought it would. And I'm going to go really tight around the bottom of his leg there. And then I'm going to take jute twine and tie it up real good because if hot glue hits that rubber band, it's over. And then I'm going to take safety pins and hot glue, not safety pins, stick pins and hot glue out of my little pin box I made. Ain't it cute? And I'm going to tack his shirt up the top there. Yeah. You know what I realized just now? I didn't use hot glue up around his neck on the top of it. I'm such a goober. I only used it there at his waist. Oh, no. Oh, well, what are you going to do? And then I'm going to take, this is the pointy pieces of tomato steaks that I've cut off over years to make frames and whatever and whatnot. And I save them because I save everything. And I'm going to put a lot of hot glue on there. and stick it down in that hole. And then I'm going to poke up in there where I want his leg to go. And I'm just going to cut that out with my knife. Excuse me. And again, I'm going to take, and then I'm going to cut out with some scissors, I reckon. And then, okay, oh no. Okay, and then I'm going to take Beacon Fabric Tack Glue, and I'm going to put it all on the pants there. Well, not on one corner, see, don't listen to me. And a bunch of hot glue, and I'm going to stick that peg there from that tomato steak down in that hole. And then I'm going to go behind it. This is where I did not put hot glue, or Beacon Fabric Tack Glue. I did put hot glue. Oh, my gosh. Oh, no, I just shouldn't. And these jeans, I stopped wearing them because they had a big hole up by the front pocket, and it just wasn't appropriate for a 50-year-old woman that loves the Lord to wear, you know. So anyway, I was like, well, I guess I'll cut them up. $100 jeans. But I only paid $9.99 for them. Anyway, I used them last year for my little Scarecrow. And so I was like, well, it's fitting. So I ended up cutting it, think I was cutting it good, and then I slid it up on him, and I ended up cutting the whole butt where his butt was going to go out. But I cut the waist off there, and I used that. So I'm not going to get rid of it. I used about every piece of this. And see, that was going to be cute. And then, oh, there we go. There's where I cut it, and I wasn't thinking, and I put it on him, and he has no butt. And I was like, well, that won't work, will it? Nope, will not work. I was like, well, dude. So I just took that leg, and I was like, can I fix this? No. So I took that leg, and it's tight. He's got on tight overalls now. Well, skinny overalls. He just blends in, fits. He's not sagging. He would have been if he wore them other overalls. Anyway. So, I'm sorry. I'm a goober. I'm going to put a hem right there in the faces I make. In those, that Joe's jeans, and I'm gonna slide it back up over him right here. I was like, I'm just gonna make a girl, and I almost did, but I know I kept going. And then I'm gonna cut up between his legs so I can make my pants. Now, if you buy little pants like children's clothing, you just gotta cut a hole in the crotch, and you can slide them little jeans up over, and it'd be great. But no, not me. I have to go generic because I don't have any. So I'm going to hot glue his legs together there. What I did was after I took them off, I just evened them up and cut it, down the center to match the front that I'd cut. And then we're going to pull his pants on him. And then where they were so tight, I did split out the crotch. Split it out, yeah. And I'll fix that later, though. But I'm hot gluing it right there. And it looks like me. And I'm going to hot glue this pocket on. Of course, you just cut that back pocket off. But before you glue it all the way to the top, if anybody recreates this, make sure you don't glue it all the way to the top yet because we're not finished. Because I'm going to take that waistband and I'm going to, do that. And, I'm really like trying to pull that up, get that underneath there. And I'm going to crisscross it in the back and just cut it off here and then just hot glue it down. And then with the other one, I used where the button hole is, Y'all see it? Yeah, and crisscrossed it there and hot glued that down. And then I ended up taking the button and cutting the button off the pants and gluing the button on the opposite side because I thought that would be cute. But I took the belt loops and I used them for everything. I covered up the ugly. And see, I put it right there on his waist, make it look like he's got the little, I was like, well, I used every piece of this jean, y'all. It did not go to waste. I still got pieces left. And, and then I just put the button there, which it probably won't stay, but, video purposes. And then I'm cutting off, like the seam of my jeans, and I'm going to put it around his little wrist there. And just hot glue them all the way around. I did it to both sides, of course. Now, we're kind of going back in time because I was like, what am I going to use for the head? And I got that pumpkin 2 years ago after fall for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to pull the florals out there and cut that hole a little bit bigger And that's what we're going to use for the head. But I wanted to show you that because otherwise you'd been like, what? Where'd you get that? Where'd that come from? And then I'm just going to hot glue that a lot and pop that on his head. And then I'm going to take this burlap tablecloth, it was, and I'm going to see how much I need there and just cut it and, yeah. And then I'm going to hot glue that. And then we're going to see what time it is, then turn that inside out. And we're going to slide that down over his head. And then we're going to take, I say we're like you're doing this with me all the time, y'all. I don't know why I do that. And then and then we're gonna, and me and that mouse in my pocket, me and Jesse and Abby, I'm going to take jute twine and wrap it around his neck and double knot it and tie it really tight. And it doesn't even look like I wrapped it. I don't know how in the world this magic tricks on camera. I'm good at that. And then I'm going to take a rubber band, and I do fix that later because that big bump over there was driving me crazy. And I pull it tight, but I want it loose. Does that make sense? And see where I split his pants out? So I'm just going to cut a piece of jean, and I'm going to fill that hole and hot glue it really well. And yeah, it's fine. It is so cute, you guys. This is the cutest thing I've ever made. But I'm going to fold up his little jeans down there and hot glue them and make a hem and a seam, a hem, I don't know. And then I'm going to cut little slits in that and start tearing it. That's going to be like his straw, but it's going to be just adorable. And, yeah. And then I'm going to take some more of that scrap that I messed up because when I was going to make him dapper, I was making him a jacket. And I'm just going to cut it and tear it because we're going to use that for his hands and his feet. And that part I didn't tear all the way down. And I'm just going to take and ball it up there and stick it up in that hole. Yeah, that's his foot. And then I'm just going to take like single strips of it and I'm going to wrap it around that blue just to hide it so you can't see it. Just hot glue it around through there and do that to both feet. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Well, yeah, just cut bigger strips and I'm going to go around those arms the same way. Just make sure I tack that down really well. Sorry about the quacking. My daughter's texting. Anyway, and I pull it tight. But yeah, I want to hide as much of that as possible. And what I did and then I put a rubber band around it. So I'm bending his arm at his elbow. And what I did was take my knife and cut it like right there and then at the elbow. So it will, not all the way through, just a little bit. So it will bend easier. And yeah, right there I went too deep. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to have to tape his elbow. But I didn't. It didn't come off. The rest of the cuts were fine. Just don't go too deep, Just make it to where you can bend him. Yeah. But I cut slits in the end of those also and just folded them and hot glued them down too. The same as I've been doing everything else. And then just did the same thing, cut it and tear it. And, I did that to both hands. And then we're going to take that fabric that we'd been tearing, just grab a bunch of pieces of it, make it where the strings are aiming down, take another piece, tie them all together, and stick them up in that hole. It's so tight, y'all, I didn't even have to glue it. And then I'm going to take, oh, this is cute, some more of that waistband, and I'm going to glue those patches to his elbow. I don't know why. I'm a bit much. But then I'm going to take some more of it, and I'm going to make patches for his jeans right there. Just hot glue that on. And then, okay, I was going to use this bowl from the Dollar Tree because I use it to stain things in. But I ended up not going that route, but I'd already cut everything out that size, you know what I mean? And so, anyway, I took a hole in my jeans and cut it just a tad bigger and stuck it over the bowl. And that thing is so crooked how I cut that. But I'm going to flip it around, open it up, and make sure everything's fitting. But that's when I'm like, I don't know. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm obsessed with his hat because, yeah. And then I even took and cut up felt. I know, right? Felt. I hate felt. And I'm going to use that planter from the Dollar Tree, and just hot glue that in there, because that stuff sticks to everything, and it sticks to my skin awful, and it makes my teeth hurt. You know what I'm saying? Ugh, I hate that stuff. Ugh. No, I just can't. Anyway, that's why I wear gloves. I know I'm a special kind of person. And I'm just going to hot glue it up all over my planter. Yep. And, well, okay. And then I'm going to cut that piece that I cut off originally at the beginning. And I'm going to take and do the same thing. Yeah, I had exactly enough pieces to cover that entire thing, you guys. Yeah. But I'm just going to cover it all up because I want my material, my jean, to stick to that. And then I'm just going to take, and I do add, with the circle that I cut out there, I cut it in half. I don't know what all that nonsense was about, but I did it, didn't I? And I'm just going to glue extra on there so my planter will attach to it, because my hole was way too big because it was cut for the other thing. Yeah. And then we're going, anyway, we're going to hot glue that planter to that piece of that fabric. That's what you cut out, 2 of them. And then I'm going to take some of that jean, and I'm going to start hot gluing it around that felt and snipping like slits in it so it will stay straight up as possible. Of course it doesn't. It's got wrinkles and stuff in it, but I'm okay with it because it's a Scarecrow hat. But, or is it? It might be a hat for me. I wish that I made me a hat like this. I'm not even joking. I like it that much. My daughter is obsessed with it too. She's like, I love that hat, Mom. I know, right? Anyway, I don't know what this is about. I don't know how I ended up doing this 2 times. But I'm just going to fold that down at the top, all that excess. And I just continue gluing and wrapping and gluing and wrapping. And I'm going to attach it together right here. And then all that's left over I don't need. We're just going to cut that off. And we're going to, I'm going to go ahead and start making sure those flaps are glued down, I guess. And not what I was talking about a minute ago. And I don't know what I'm doing here. What am I doing? Oh, that's where I'm making that little seam in it. So I can, finish it off and it not look too jaggedy, even though it is a Scarecrow hat. But I utilized that hole because I thought it would be cute. And it is. And I'm just going to attach it here. And I'm just going to hot glue that piece and stick it down inside with the rest of it. And then go ahead and start getting it put together there. And gluing it all down. Yes. There's a lot of gluing, isn't there? I'm glad I had those gloves on. Because when I get glue on my finger and burn myself, I just pull that glove down. And it didn't burn me as bad as it would. I don't know. So, I cut off a bunch of it instead of leaving it all on when I glue it down in there. Okay. Then we're going to slide our other piece up over top of it. And that's what it's for. It kind of makes it come together there, you know? Yeah. And then it looks more like a hat. But, and I'm going to start hot gluing it together. And, getting it all glued down. And then I'm going to take this lid and this big old fat marker. I'm going to trace that lid out. And I'm going to cut on the outside of that line the best I can. Because the lid wasn't as big as the hole was. You know what I mean? In the hat. And I want it to fit. And I still cut it a little bit too small. But I'm just trying to clean it up here. But I bend it like a little bit. See? Just like that. And stick it down in there. And then put a bunch of hot glue. And then try to attach it there to the fabric. Because I'm going to take that hole that I cut out the one side of the jean. See it laying there? And I'm going to make it match up with the hole in the hat. I know y'all not going to have jeans like this probably. We probably all got some torn jeans. But, and it's really easy, guys. I promise it is. If y'all have some faith in yourselves, you're golden. Yeah. So, yeah, I just glued that piece down in there. And, to make it, isn't it cute? Oh, my goodness. I can't even. Looks like something Ted Nugent would wear, don't it? Anyway, or Johnny Depp. But I'm bending it there. Then come to find out, I bent it the wrong way. Because when I bent it, I started cutting it to straighten it up. And I was like, oh no, I messed it up. So I end up having to cut it smaller, and that's what you see right there. But I still like it. But I'm going to take some more of that fabric that I put all over the rest of him, and I'm going to fold a piece in half. It's about 2 inches, and now when I fold it down, it's about an inch. And I'm going to hot glue it to the hat there and all the way around. And then when I get to the back, I'm going to double knot it. And then I take my scissors and cut it down the middle, and I pull those apart also. I snip and rip. That's what I do. Yeah, look. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. But, oh, before that, I take some more of that fabric, and I'm going to tear threads all of it, and I'm going to put a patch on his hat, a big one, and then I do end up making a smaller one here and putting it on the brim of the hat. And there's where I snip and rip and make 4 little strings instead of, yes, look at that, you guys. Oh, my goodness. I am in love with it. I don't know why. Call me crazy. I'm obsessed. Yes. And then Miss Carolyn sent me a gift. I can't wait to show y'all my presents. And it was 2 hula skirts she uses padding. And I was like, I can use it. So I just wrapped it around his head. I tacked it down with hot glue starting off. And then I come to the end. I kept that one string up out of the top so I can go ahead and tie it together when I come to the end on his little man bun looking thing he's got there sticking up. And I knot it, double knot it, wrap it around, double knot it. So I want to make sure that it stays really well. And after we get that done, we're going to start like separating it some to make sure it's not too uneven, one on each side. And I'm going to cut him some bangs. And then I'm just going to start cutting the rest of it. Just cutting and spinning him around in circles and cutting and cutting and cutting. And I'll use that other for something else. I picked it all up. And when we're done doing that, he did have one big straggler. I don't know how I missed it. Look. I'm a goober. Anyway, then I'm going to take Tim Holtz, every time. Tim Holtz Distressing Ink, and see his straggler. And I'm going to dirty up his hair now. Y'all don't have to do this, but I put it on his clothes, on his jeans, his hands, his face, his hat, everywhere. And I'm using that little blender from Miss Penny Young. She got me that little box that you can set your inks down in with that little blending brush and another blending brush. But I keep that on my desk. And I know y'all can't see, but right here I got a Sharpie and I'm drawing a face. I've done a video recently that I went slow drawing a face. But y'all can slow it down if you want to do this. If you're watching your TV and you push the up button, you go all the way over to this little star-looking thing, and I think it's some kind of settings. You click on that, and you go up, and speed is an option, and it has normal. If you get it on lower, it's going to slow this all down where you could see it better. I'm going to make a video showing people how to subscribe from the TV, computer, tablet, phone, and how to get the settings, and how to hit the like button, and all that jazz. And I'm going to be making that soon, y'all. But y'all see what I'm doing. I'm just drawing his face. And I wanted his nose bigger, so I just made it bigger. And here I'm going to take, Miss Trina Thorne sent me some fabric markers. And that one's the black one. I've used them about all up. They're about all, yeah, they're fading because, yeah, I've used tar all of them. Thank you, Miss Trina. But anyway, I'm going to cover in the black of his eyes and outline. I'm constantly outlining, y'all will see. But right here, I'm taking a white paint pen. I end up just taking acrylic paint and painting it, you guys. Woo-wee, I'm getting dizzy from all the talking. Anyway, and I'm going to take a brown paint pen. I end up just painting it too. But, and I always outline right there because it really makes the eyes pop. And I just got a black paint pen and I'm just going in. Anytime it starts looking fadey, those things are good. I was like, what the world are these? But I got them at Walmart, y'all, for like $6. But I paint his nose orange, of course. And here I'm just going on with the white acrylic paint. And it's really easy with acrylic paint to paint on fabric and stuff. But with the chalk paint, not so much. I always have to wet my, right here, I'm always wetting my paintbrush. But I'm just going to use that orange, pumpkin orange from Waverly and paint his nose in. And then I make little stitch lines, see? Yep. And I'm going really slow, but, well, yeah, slow for me. And then I'm going to make little freckles with that brown marker. And then I'm going to take a little pink one and put it on his cheeks and just rub my thumb in it and smear it everywhere. And then I'm going to paint a white rectangle. And I lost the footage, but I go in with a black paint marker and I just put a gap in his teeth and make one of his teeth crooked. You'll see. It's so cute. But I'm just putting little dots in his eyes with the end of my paintbrush. And then, see, I'm going to paint the inside of his mouth red. I know we're almost done, guys. Woo! We're hitting the finish line. Anyway, and I added a freeze frame here because that's where I just took that black marker and just drew his teeth how I wanted them. And that's what I did that, yeah, because I thought it was cute. Anyway, and do this before you do anything, y'all. I took Waverly Antique Wax and I Mr. Miyagi it wax on, wax off. I just put it on and wiped it off. I should have done that before I started. I don't know what possesses me sometimes because that will protect it. Look at his poor little leg there. I got him all contorted. I know. And you guys, here he is. Oh my goodness. I just bent his arms and put that welcome sign in his hands. Stuck him in where I had a flower that died and a plant that died. And I stuck him down in that with some sunflowers and a pumpkin and those ear corn and stuff like that I made. And oh my goodness, this is so, so, so cute. I love him. And I hope you all like him too. Yes, I do. Look, it's just all cute. The whole thing. And he's big. I did not glue his hat on. I move it all around, all about and everything, you guys. But here's the back side. Oh, no. Anyway, yep, there he is. Oh, he's so cute. I hope y'all like him. Scrappy Crafters in time. I need some music here. Okay, Miss Kathy Simmons made this beautiful tray and another paint stand. Look at that. I think that's awesome. I love it, love it. And Jessica Massey, look at this. Oh, my goodness. She made that little scarecrow. That's the one I was going to make with that. Dare I say this? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Anyway, and her little fence, I love it. And Miss Cindy Wales, she made this for her daughter who loves Highland Cow. Of course, I love Highland Cow. Isn't it cute? And Miss Angela Ford has been busy with her door hangers. And she painted the owl. And she's learning how to bleach flannels. Just love it. Love every bit of it. Especially that bow your head and stuff. And Miss Jessica Massey, her little Highland cows, aren't they cute? You guys, I just love them. Anyway, okay, right here. I got 3 of those for $2 at the bin store. And I'm just going to take and angle it, put a hoe in it, kind of high, and then going down low with a small bit. And I just wanted to show you the hoe. Anyway, and I'm about to do something I've never done before here, y'all. So I'm going to take, not this part, I'm going to take some fairy lights and run it through the hole I just made. And I'm going to take hot glue and start tacking the lights all the way around my little tray thing here. Yeah. And then I even go, well, I don't know what that was. But I take them down the center, like all the way around. And then I go down the middle there. See? Yeah. And so this was crazy what happened to me. But I'm going to take some of my little leaves there that I showed y'all last video. And I thought if I could place them on top of the lights that it would be cute. It would like, but no. That did not work. So I just placed them like that. And I'm going to use epoxy here. And you mix your product, half of one and half of the other, A and B. And then it says mix it till there's no more, oh, I don't know, something in it. And I'm like, I don't even see what it is to begin with. It said mix 3 to 5 minutes, and boy, I did. And I didn't know, because I'm goofy, I'd never done this before, that those little things were going to float. And I should have, but I thought they were heavy enough to stay down. And Anyway, I didn't have enough. And where I drilled that hole, I forgot to seal the hole. And I had to mix it up again. And so it's running out, and I have no clue. Then it hits me, and I'm like, oh, no. And I put some hot glue on it. And I just wanted to show y'all here what it all came with. So the pump, like I said, I got it from Amazon. It is in my Amazon store. If you hear me say I got it from Amazon, it's in there. It's like ragu. But it came with all this little stuff, and then you got to unscrew. It's so dusty. It's been sitting. I was afraid to use it, but honestly, there's nothing to be afraid of. And I hear some people say, well, they say be in a ventilated area, da-da-da-da-da, all that jazz. It didn't smell bad. The only part that smelled bad is when I went to seal that hole, when I was just talking about it with hot glue with that resin running out. Now, that smelled bad, and it smoked, so you be careful. Don't do that. But basically, the DIY is finished. So, I took these corks and got 4 of them the same size, and I'm just going to hot glue them all to the bottom of that tray where those little feet already were. And I think they matched really well. And that was it, you guys. That's the end of this one. I let it dry for 24 hours, and voila, it was absolutely fine. Oh, and I tacked my little, it was so easy and so quick. But here it is, y'all. And I just threw some stuff on it, trying to make it all pretty. And, you know, that's it. That's what I did. And there it is without anything sitting on it, of course. And then I think it's pretty. And then, but I only got one of them on the light because they kept moving around. But there it is, excuse me, halfway, you know, a little bit dark. And, yeah, I just think that's a nice piece sitting around for fall, especially if you have all the lights out and it's all cozy and da-da-da. Okay, but I hear a lot of people talk about Elmer school glue being like resin, and you can use it as resin. And I was like, well, let me see what we doing here. So I got this little lid. And I'm taking this nail, big old nail, and I'm going to just take my hammer there, and I'm just going to pound a hole through it. And, excuse me, goodness. And I flip it here to the other side and pound it that way so it's not poking, you know, it's not pokey. The pokey side's on the inside. I know. I don't know. And the same with the other one. I'm just going to run some fairy lights in it. And just glue them all around the inside my little lid there. You know what? This one's really pretty. And I wish that I'd done with the other one what I'd done with this one. And like put the plastic things in this one because, you know, it didn't work. Well, I mean, it worked, but it's been drying for 6 days now. It is still not dry. And I've had to put glue in it 2 other times other than the time I actually put the glue in it. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so I filled it up with glue. And then I had to put a little bit more and a little bit more. And that's more expensive than the resin because that glue is not cheap. And it's still dented in. But I'm going to hot glue some, I learned a lesson. Hot glue some little flowers down in here. And just put just little pretties. And I cut some leaves and I made like smaller leaves out of it and put it down in there. Well then, and little pine cones. I decided against the flowers. I pulled them out. And I took an acorn and I cut it in half. You know, just a fake one. Those would not stay down. They kept, here you see it, rising to the top. And I try to sink them and they come back up. And it didn't matter. So I had to take those out and put my flowers back in. But I did not glue them the second time. But the glue was thick where it had been sitting out drying. And thick enough to sink the flowers. But not thick enough to do anything. I mean, obviously I stuck the flowers in it. But yeah, I had to keep adding glue. And I sealed that hole. I got wise before I started with hot glue. And I put some masking tape on it. But I'm just trying to keep them sunk, but it don't work. But I just wanted to test the resin against Elmer school glue and see. So that's what you got, guys. But it's beautiful, I think. I think it's gorgeous. It's still like, no. Still, no. It's pretty. You can't set anything on it, and it caves in the center. And you see how it dips down? And I have filled it up twice, so I don't know what else to do except wait for it to dry. But it's pretty. Okay, y'all, right here. I'm glad those other two were as easy and quick because that first one was forever. I got that at a yard sale. I don't know anything about weight and all that jazz, but I'm just telling you, I got some cardstock here. And I'm going to take just a brown paper bag. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Thank goodness I didn't care this time because otherwise it would have never went. But I'm just measuring out the bottom of the box. I'm going to take my electric scissors. That is also in my Amazon store. And I'm going to cut... that bottom there. And I'm going to do the same thing with the entire bag. I'm going to take and lay it down here and measure that out and mark it and cut 2 pieces for this. But the reason I'm leaving this in is because I had originally had it at 8 inches and I changed my mind, and you'll see later, and I end up cutting it down to 3.5 inches. And see, I laid my bag down like that even and measured there. And you're going to need 2 of those pieces. And I didn't have enough. So I took masking tape and I taped 2 pieces together. Well, I got them all here now. And they're so crooked as a dog's hind leg, y'all. But I'm going to start hot gluing them together like a little box. Now, the reason I wanted to do it like this, because I wanted my paper bag to be stable. I didn't want it to crash in. You could do it and not do that, but I didn't, and because I have to make things harder on myself. Anyway, here's our printout, y'all. I went with this little guy, and I sized him down to a 3x5. And he is in my community tab if anybody wants to print him off. There's 2 of them. But I had took a piece of just paper, printer paper, and I took double-sided tape, and I taped it to my shipping paper roll, and I just cut it out, and I ran it through the printer like that. And I'm just going to tear him off here. Now, look, I was going to make a bigger one. I was actually going to use the other one. My printer ran out of ink, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Of all times. Anyway, but I just ripped him out there because I liked how that looked. And right here, I'm just making the top for my little box. And just cutting it out and going to glue it on. But before I do that, I do put 2 rocks in there to have it sturdy because I don't want it falling over. That's something else I was worried about. It just tipping and falling. But anyway, so hence the box. I don't know. The box is probably a good thing. For me, it's a good thing because I'm rough on things. But I'm just rambling. Anyway, and I'm just going to stick my box in my bag. Yeah, it was a tight fit, but it fit. It was so crooked, though. Anyway, so after we do that, I'm going to tear up the entire bag and cut it down to 3.5 inches like I told you I did. Anyway, I don't know why I just didn't do that. But I had to explain the other stuff. Oh, whatever. So I'm going to glue it back together. But at first, I'm going to tell you all 3.5 inches because that's what I do. And anyway, I get another top because the other one was too small. And I just pieced stuff together, y'all. Because you're not going to be seeing this part anyway. I made this one more stable. And I'm going to put it down in the bag just like we did the other one. And then I'm going to fold down the top. And I roll it 2 times. And that's harder than what you think, you know. It really is. I was like, I'm going to rip this bag for sure. But I'm going to take my Walnut Tim Holtz Distressing Ink. And I'm going to... Actually, that's not. That is Vintage Photo. And I'm going to start distressing my little Scarecrow there. And I use a couple different brushes because that one I only use for my walnut. And I mixed it together and I'm like, oh, no. So, and then I just take my ink pad and start going over the whole bag. I think, yeah, that is with the Vintage Photo. I switched to the walnut here in a minute. And then I'm going to take, I was going to take double-sided tape, y'all, but I don't know what happened. That thing tore up right in the middle of it, and I didn't have to show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that part. And I take a Beacon Fabric Tack glue, and I glue my little Scarecrow onto my bag. And then, I'm going to take that walnut now, and I'm going to go all around it and, distress my bag heavily. Now, if y'all don't like distressing, y'all don't do it. You just do whatever you want, because this is for inspiration, y'all. I'm an inspirationalist. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to take some Spanish moss, yeah, and just kind of pull it apart there because it go further. And I'm going to stick it down in my bag. And I do crunch my bag down. And then I take these Scrabble letters and I'm putting apples, but I didn't have an S. And I was like, I'm just going to flip one over and draw it out. And it's probably going to look silly. And if it doesn't look bad, we're going to use it. So it didn't look bad. So we used it. And that scrapbooking paper underneath it, I'm going to, that's, I got that from a book from Amazon, not Amazon, y'all, Hobby Lobby. It was just plaids, and I love plaid, y'all know I love plaid. But I'm going to take my pinking shears, and I cut out here about a size I thought I needed, but no, it was way too big. So I'm just going to remember to cut your other side, the plain side. Yeah, because I almost forgot, and I did that on something. Anyway, so I'm going to take my little letters here, and I'm just going to start hot gluing them down that piece of paper. And then I'm sorry, I hit the yeah. And I was like, well, that's too much. So I'll take my pinking shears and go ahead and cut up the side. And I'm like, this is too cute. Oh, I love it. And then the leftover paper on that, I'm going to take and start hot gluing it around the bottom of my bag. And that's it. When I cut it here, I forgot to cut that end. So I just had to tuck it up under the piece there that was cut. So, yeah. And, I'll get there someday. Ooh, someday. You guys remember that song? I know. Watch me not be able to get monetized because that's, no, I'm joking. And I'm going to just hot glue that all the way around my bag and cut off the excess. And then, back to my little apple sign thing, whatever it is, tag. Nope, I'm lying. So then I'm going to cut down more and take a piece of that cardstock that was left over. I'm going to trim it down some. I lost this thing, y'all. I looked for it forever. And then I'm going to hot glue that to the paper. And then I'm just going to grab a skewer. And it was too long. And I was too lazy to grab something. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to put 10 cents a dozen. Yeah. And that's it. Just with my handwriting. Because that's fine with me. And then I'm going to distress it all with vintage photo. And because it kind of just blends in with that bag beater, you know. And then I'm going to take that skewer, and it had paint on the end of it, so I just broke it off. And I'm just going to hot glue it to the back here. And after I get it down there, I'm just going to stabilize it, go all the way around it and over top of it to make sure that does not come apart. Happy birthday so thirsty. To me. It's from Brenda. I've always wanted one. I'm just too tight to buy one. Now I got one. Okay, thank you, Brenda. I love you. Mwah. Oh, no. No. Why did I do that? No. Oh, golly. Oh, well. It is what it is. I reckon do this. There we go. Now it looks like that. Oh, gosh. I'm goofy. Oh, my gosh, you guys. I was like, now it looks like that. What does that even mean? Looks like that what? Anyway, I'm going to take some jute twine. Listen, I had that thing set up. Some people just shouldn't use some tools. I had it set up exactly where it needed to be, like I did it the second time. And then for some reason I moved it, and then I sneaked it. But I was so excited. Thank you very much, Brenda. I have wanted one for a long time, and I was just like, yay! Anyway, so I had to use it. I've been waiting. It's been sitting there in the package for like 5-6 days, and I'm just like, I'll use it on this awful big jump for a little piece of paper. But I wanted to use it. Anyway, I'm going to distress my letters there and tape that jute twine and wrap it all around, and wrap it around and tie it up in the back there. And it kept like laying the wrong place. So I'm just going to tack it down with hot glue where I want it to be. And I meant to put an apple with him, an apple in his hand where his finger's pointing upwards, but anyway, I forgot. And here it is, and I think this is absolutely adorable. And I got those little apples yesterday at a yard sale. I got a bunch of little tiny apples and pears, y'all, for like nothing, for $4 for a whole big bag of it. But I think this is so cute, and I hope y'all like it too. And I'd love to know what y'all did with your scarecrows. Okay, y'all, right here, I got that. The same place I got the little apples and pears. I got it for $1 yesterday. And I'm just going to take and spray it down with rubbing alcohol really, really well and clean it up. And I actually sanded it down. And then I sprayed it again with rubbing alcohol and cleaned it really, really well. It was filthy. And then after I do that, I'm going to take Dusk by Waverly and I'm going to paint it. Now, the reason I left painting in is I wanted to show y'all when you're at an edge, if you paint upwards towards the edge, your paint won't go everywhere and it will just stay within the pan like how you may want it. And I let that dry and I gave it another coat. And then after we do that, I thought I didn't know I showed all of it. I got that beautiful napkin from Decoupage Napkins.com. It is 2-ply and I take tape and remove the back. Make sure you remove all the plies, if not it will mess up. But if I have the link in the description box below, I am an affiliate, and if the first time you order, if you never ordered before, I do believe that they give you $5 the first time. And trust me, $5 you can get 6 napkins, and you can get a piece of rice paper and a couple napkins, and yeah, their prices are amazing, and their stuff is gorgeous. But after I finally get the plies off the back of it, very, very slowly apparently, I leave all that boring stuff in so I can talk. Yeah. And then I'm going to put it in the pan where I want it. And I'm going to take my water pen and I'm just going to trace around the inside of the pan there to, so I can remove that excess napkin. And I'm just going to take it out and tear it off. And then I'm going to let them both dry. And after they've dried, I'm going to take dishwasher safe Mod Podge. Just a very thin layer, y'all. That's all you need. I'm telling you, these napkins are so thin, you don't need anything hardly. And I'm just going to lay my napkin there. Now, listen, people have told me that when they do this, they have problems. And why does theirs wrinkle and bubble? Mine doesn't. Only thing I can think is, listen, when you pull it up like that, you need to make sure that you get Mod Podge anywhere you didn't get it the first time. So let's say I swapped it around and I made it uneven and then I thought it was straight but it wasn't. Yeah, that's going to leave a bubble for me also. So I make sure I lift it up high as I can and go close to the napkin, right up on it with very little Mod Podge and make sure that all of the area is covered. And I'm just going to take saran wrap and rub any wrinkles all over it that may be there. And then after it dries, I'm going to seal it in, and I'm going to cover the entire inside of that pan. And I end up giving it 2 coats, dishwasher safe Mod Podge. But I'm just going to make a triple loop Kathyjodiys bow. I showed you how I slowed that down again, and I think it was my last video, y'all. But I can't remember the video before last, but a lot of y'all have emailed me and messaged me and told me that now you can make a Kathyjodiys bow, so I'm really proud of you. And if you want to, you can email me your pretty bows. Anyway, and I'm just going to floof it out here. I don't know why I showed all that. But, and then I'm going to take these leaves that I got from Amazon. I thought they had stems and they didn't, but they're so pretty. Look at them. They're in my Amazon store too. But I'm just going to hot glue them down. And then I glued my bow down. And then I was like, oh no. And I wanted the other 2 leaves on the other side. And so I just ripped it up off there. Well, I say that to say, I do singe the ends of my ribbon to keep it from fraying. But I say all that to say, well, take a little bit of walnut distressing ink, and then this. I'm obsessed with this too, y'all. I mean, I would put it on everything if y'all wouldn't be like, dude, really with that again? But it's gilding wax, and it's the bronze. Is it the bronze or the copper? It's the copper. I thought, wait, it ain't the bronze. It's the copper. And in my kitchen, I'm doing green and copper. But anyway, I just put it all the way around the rim of my little skillet there. Excuse me. And, on the lip, and I don't know why I'm showing it. No wonder this video is so long. I keep cutting stuff out. It's gotten shorter and shorter. But anyway, and then I'm going to do the handle. And I'm just going to wipe it all down when I'm done. And I think that just took this thing up a notch. And there's where I pulled it off and glued the other two leaves on. But I said all that and did all that to say, when fall's over, I can take those leaves off, put something else there, since I can just remove it and still keep it hung up in my kitchen, because I do want it hung up in my kitchen. Yeah. So that's why I did that and said that. And then I'm going to take some of that fabric that we did Mr. Crow with. I was going to call him Russell Crowe because he's so handsome. But you know what? I don't think Russell Crowe's handsome. Oh, no, that's awful, but it's true. Anyway, and there it is, y'all. And I think it's pretty. And I hope y'all like it as much as I do. I sure do. I don't know. I enjoyed this video and everything in it. I actually love. I'm very proud of. I wish that glue thing would dry. But I think I'm going to get another tray and try that epoxy again. But this time put the flowers down in it, because I just think that's very pretty. Look at it. And it's just a little lid. And if it ever dries, you could use it as a coaster, somewhere to put your rings. Especially since it divots down in the middle, in the center of it. But yeah, look at my little dude here. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I just love him. I love his hat more, I think. But I love him, and I hope y'all like him too. Please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you, everybody, for coming back every week to put up with me. I don't know how you do it. It makes you all heroes. Or maybe I kind of judge you a little bit. No, I'm joking. Anyway, I don't. I love you guys, and I pray y'all have a blessed week. And I'm about to show you with the lights on, because for some reason I forgot and recorded the whole thing with the lights off. But I just run really fast over it because y'all have seen it 15 times in the video. You know what I mean? But all right, y'all. I love you. And I shall see you next week, Lord's will, and the creeks don't rise or Jesus tarries.